Oh, I think it's working, you guys. I've never
And I
done
see
this
live
before.
on Facebook.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're gonna get real, right, Satya?
We're gonna get very real. We're spontaneous, we're in the moment. And this is about when a talk, a conversation just must happen because it unfolds.
It says
It
that
helps
we're
unfold.
live, but are we?
I see live on Facebook. Let me double
Lena there, can someone? Oh, it says, oh, we're live.
Let me see. I'm just checking out my.
And we're gonna get real, right, Satya?
We're gonna get very real. We're spontaneous. We're in the moment.
You're live on your personal channel, not a Humanizing
I know.
icon.
I
Let
tried.
me see. I'm
It's
just
okay.
checking out my.
And we're gonna get real. So there's a delay. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Seem to be, yeah. So let's turn off the sound, I guess.
So how do Lena what do we do? There's too many voices.
You have to mute your laptop,
Exactly.
but then I don't know how you hear each other. Maybe you have to close Facebook so that it's not.
It's your follower.
You have to mute your laptop, but then I don't know how you hear each other.
No, we can't mute our laptop. We're only using our laptop for all of this.
Yeah, so I think you have to close Facebook.
Oh, close Facebook.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. Exactly. You turn off your page, your Facebook profile. Exactly.
Okay, so we're live on Facebook, but we won't get to see who comes and sees us?
I know on my laptop I can mute some tabs, so maybe you can mute the Facebook tab itself.
Exactly.
And then see the conversation, but not hear anything out of that tab.
Is that something we should try doing so I can see who comes on, or should we just?
There's 6 people on right now.
Oh.
But you should mute it, Satya, because
I know on my laptop I can mute some tabs.
So let me mute that. So it's mute.
You have to shut Facebook, otherwise we can't have a conversation because it's too much feedback.
All right. So I muted my Facebook, and now maybe if you can tag me, I'll.
Oh wait, can you teach me if I open Facebook again how to mute
Actually,
it?
I'll send just an invitation to peeps, I guess. Just
wait,
like that.
Satya.
Yeah.
Hi.
What's up?
Can you, if I open Facebook, can you tell me how to mute it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So go on your profile.
Don't invite people here yet. This is an experiment.
I love the word experiment, especially when.
So I'm on my Facebook page. What do I do?
Okay, so then you're gonna see the video. Do you see the live?
Yeah.
So you should see like on the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, right. It's muted.
That's it.
This is so cool.
Perhaps you can tag me so it will also broadcast it on my page.
Really?
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because then I can always share it.
I can try to tag you. Like, I'm down to try things, that's what this is all about.
We're doing a live experimentation.
This is definitely a live experiment, people.
Where are we in the moment?
Okay, so you want me to tell me what to do, Satya?
So it will also broadcast it on my. Oh, you know what? We already have comment. We don't need to. I'm just gonna invite people. We'll do it this way because I don't even know how to direct you to tag me.
I see that you joined. Do you want me to say? I'll write a comment and say I am here live with Celio Bordin.
Perfect.
And Satya. Doing an experiment on a very special day. Oh, Jamie's watching. That's so cute.
Hey, ciao, Jamie.
Celio.
Yes.
I just want to tell you that your art's amazing.
Thank you.
And that I feel very honored to be in your tribe.
Hey,
Beautiful.
And
thank
today, with Satya and Exodius, we announced that a Mary Pickford Manifesto, Why Not Choose Love, is coming out in episodic format.
amazing.
And we just announced like 30 minutes ago, and the first episodes are releasing next Friday. And you guys have been such a huge part of the movement. It's
Absolutely.
we're all artists that sometimes feel misunderstood, right? Celio, you feel like the world doesn't understand sometimes.
Now the words start to be understand, I think.
Ah, yay.
Beautiful.
Because need to break in the box and watch outside. Because I have many things to explain the people. People don't know many things, but because don't know is innocent thing.
They're innocent, yeah.
Don't know. But when we explain, we touch the soul. We
Beautiful.
don't talk about fashions. We talk about soul. We talk about harmony, solution,
Mm,
and free expressions,
Mm.
freedom, because we need freedom. Many people don't know, but it's closing the box. We need to help these people.
yeah, we do.
And
We need help too, but we can offer them help too.
yes, I broke in my box. Sometimes I try to, because more we go ahead, more the boxes becoming. We have to. I think that is my light is to watch outside, discover, and open mind with honesty. You understand? Not force people.
Yeah.
No, you have to do this. No, because it's all teacher in this world, but we teach self to enjoy what's up outside to the box.
Outside the box, yeah.
And people only listen and watch and decide to want to want to come with us is welcome.
Yeah.
We are not jealous.
We are not. No, it's about and Satya, I mean, I know you relate to this too as an incredible artist and visionary, and someone that I've seen express and also feel that resistance sometimes. But I think that it's beautiful to have like they call it in the Gene Keys farsightedness, you know, where maybe it's a little ahead of the time, or it's a little over to the side, or it's a little somewhere else according to society or the zeitgeist. But it's clear, it's a vision, right?
Absolutely. And it's very important that when that happens, that we understand that that's our role and that's our position to have that vision. I like to say that nature makes no mistake. In the sense that the same order that directs the sun, that directs the seasons, that manages the instincts of animals and all the beings in this planet, that also us as humans, we're also part of that order, and we will feel in certain instinct, and certain intuition, certain vision, certain things going to be going to be coming inside of us, and there's a reason. And the thing with human beings is that we do have a mind, and we're very social. So we may kind of choose to listen or not listen. And we are talkative. We can debate. But at some point, we also realized that, hold up a second, the vision that I'm receiving is ahead of its time.
Mhm.
Perhaps it's up to me to listen, to believe in it, despite circumstances that are full of resistance, and to actually go further where that vision takes us and build whatever road and whatever bridge that we have to build. And when people get there, they'd find that bridge that's already built, or that's already, you have a blueprint. You know, when society goes into chaos because there's a new paradigm that's, you know, entering, people lose it. We see it right now with what's going on. And when you are farsighted, you saw it coming and you're like, yeah, we're flipping, but hold up, there's a blueprint here.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I'm not the only one. There's a couple of so-called crazies that are also validates that blueprint. And we have come together in ways that proves to us that there are certain things that meets, you know, like it's beyond what we see with our eyes, and it's beyond the box, as, you know, Celio is saying. And then there's a process where we have to obviously be somewhat of the be right on the border when we kind of been helping people in that transition.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, from that old paradigm to that new paradigm, because it's just like a rebirth or a birth. You know, it could be painful, crazy, hectic. Baby's born, baby cry. You know, nothing is fitting. The light's too bright. People don't know how to carry me. They don't know how to talk to me. I was so good in my comfort zone. You know, and here all with that disturbing of a new paradigm. So, you know, and it could be but as human beings, you know, when we download that vision, it's still a challenge because you meet resistance.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us.
Yeah.
And it can be really frustrating, because we're kind of, I was just talking to my friend about this earlier, but it's we're in a void, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to remember that, like, just tell yourself we're on a planet
that's just
circling in the ether.
Exactly.
With this incredible illusion of being on ground.
That's it.
Grounded, right?
That's it.
And it's like all this material around us that gives the kind of comfort of having a construct, of having like a structure.
Yeah. Which is very social and not necessarily universal.
It's not, you know, we as humans have like created this incredible realm, right?
Yes.
Like the chair I'm sitting on or anything in front of me, right, was an idea in a human being's mind and then became a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then we just surround ourselves with more and more and more things.
Exactly.
But that's not natural. That's not what we want, right? Like there's certain feelings we want and certain qualities we want and certain frequencies we want, really.
Yes.
And so there's like this persistence of dissatisfaction.
Absolutely. It's like there's this battle and there's a fight to preserve a system and a construct that is not universal. Just like as we can celebrate the new year, there are no, you know, fireworks coming from the universe that just celebrates the new year. It's just our perception again, if you know what I mean.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. Yeah.
And there's a time where when human beings go into nature, it's funny because just saying human beings going into nature, it goes back to the beginning of this talk in a sense that we are nature.
We are nature. Like like our language is so fucked up because it's like,
absolutely,
you know,
because this is a good point, because the language actually affects the way you perceive reality.
Mhm.
So when you see, for example, if we go back in time, like we check, for example, civilization like in India, where they use a Sanskrit, and there's languages who actually came from Sanskrit. Like it's such an old language
Mhm.
that you will see how that language how has affected or was part of the birth of many other languages.
Oh,
And
for sure, yeah.
so we see that they have clear definition that they've been carrying for thousands and thousands of years for stuff that we don't even have, for example, in English, or we don't
Right.
even have in French. And as we've seen that in a Western civilization, for example, everything related to yoga, the art of meditation, which was definitely here also in America with the natives and stuff like that, or anyone that was deeply connected to nature, we see that civilization, from our perception, were considered more aware
Yeah.
of the subtle realities. But the thing is, the language exemplifies that. Through the language, we see how these people were able to communicate certain things that are very subtle.
Well, it's through the vibration, because the
Exactly.
words, yeah, Chelio?
Vibration.
Vibration.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It's like Sanskrit is about the vibrational frequency and the tone, and
That's why it's chanted.
exactly.
It's chanted,
And so much of the time in our language, we just throw words around, like not even conscious of what we're saying or what we mean when we say it or how we're using it. Just the way you caught yourself saying, going to nature.
Exactly.
It's like, well, we're nature, so where are we going?
Yeah.
But anyway, this is super cool. How are you doing, Chelio?
I reflect about Satya, what thinks and then what to say. I listen you about frequency, vibration,
Mhm.
and uh, I don't know what's up, but is vibration can connect us because universe is vibration. You understand? I think you imagine. I think you, Satya, very intense. I think you very intense. I send my vibration. Something happened to you. You thinking about me. You understand? Because we are vibration. I love to catch vibration and put all in the paper, in the canvas. You understand?
Absolutely.
Is no vibration, we are dead because a stone is inanimate things, but had
It has vibration.
vibration.
Yeah,
You
everything
know
is
this?
vibration.
The universal
Yes,
language.
100 person think this man have to fall out. This man fall out because vibration working. You understand? Vibration is we want to save a people. We want to help people. People receive help.
Vibration.
We decide about vibration. You
Why
understand?
not choose love?
Yes, we are a very
That's,
nice team
yeah,
because we work on vibration.
we all do. We all have that in common, is that we at least are aware of that, and work towards purifying our intentions consciously. I think that's cool.
I send my vibration
Yeah.
But
to everybody.
but speaking of like the announcement we made today,
Yes.
which I know Satya was excited to dig into too, is Mary Pickford knew about the frequencies. Like she knew
You remember in the theater, Ace Theater,
at the
when
yeah.
yes, we went. I meet her, and then you remember I
You
feel
met Mary
vibration.
Pickford's energy.
Yes, a vibration inside already.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's
And
really,
then I discover all the what's your name upstairs. The drawing always is many face everywhere. And then because I without glasses I can see. I
mhm.
see later. You understand? Because people say, "Oh, Lena, my wife, say, oh, look at this. It's many faces. Oh, my gospel is like what I do it. You understand? It's some connection. Strange. I don't know. Explain. I'm not a scientist, but
There's an attunement, a
yes.
connection.
Uh, I'm honest with this because I feel I talk about what I feel. You
Yeah,
understand?
you really felt it. Like you felt it because we were going to screen the movie at the Academy, and you came into that theater to feel energy so you could create a portrait of Mary Pickford. And you said, you have to screen the movie here. And,
And we do it.
and I had wanted to, but the schedule was not going to work. And then I revisited the schedule because of your feeling, and there was an opening.
Yes, and we do it.
And we did it. We did it there. And she created that theater. Like she hired the architect and she had the vision for this cathedral that's in
All
downtown
connect,
LA.
perfect, everything, connection,
Synchronicity. Yeah.
without spend a lot of energy. Is already tack, 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 tack,
Yeah.
And
tack.
that's
It's
interesting.
incredible.
Absolutely. It's interesting because when we're talking about vibration, it's beyond time and space. So you have Mary Pickford
Mm-hmm.
and her manifesto, When I Try God, that you see how she is having a conscious experimentation of vibration, of subtle energies, of consciousness, supreme consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and that she carries that with her because she found that place inside. Like we just said, cannot go in nature where you're going. You are nature. Same thing, she had that realization that she is the embodiment of a particular vibration and she's in tune with it. And when you watch her film, when she's, being inspired, following her intuition for, like you said, to create that cathedral, there's intentions in there. And then you have 100 years later, the intentions, the seeds that are planted there are still alive because it's vibration. The intention is still there. And us, we're born different era. We have our path. We could say even in a certain way, humbly similar path in the sense that we're artists and we have realized that attunement.
Mm-hmm.
And some people realize that attunement, they may be in different fields, but for some reason we've been delving in around the same field of her, and here we are tuning into her and receiving the downloads that she had like 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are saying like that this place that you're, a cathedral, and here we are like, hey, mother of Hollywood. But for many years we didn't hear the name of Mary Pickford at all.
Mm-mm.
In the end, we didn't see it in the news. You were studying film. Like I went to school for filming. There was not her name mentioned one time.
Crazy.
And I was very surprised when I did my research. And this vibration is coming through us, and there's work we're doing now, and then it will keep flowing.
Yeah, it was really such a gift to, of course, discover her, but to get to the point where I was able to find the touchstone of her relationship with universal love.
Yeah.
To get into the psyche in a way that I could recognize something other than the pioneer, which is such an important role that she played in our history. But that's a role. when you
That's
get
the role.
vibration and frequency and archetype
And that's the human aspect, what you're saying. That's the human aspect. Like the humanizing the icon, it's exactly that, what you just said. It's like seeing beyond the icon and seeing the human, which is nature personified, and which is in tune with everything. And then you find yourself like, why is she an icon in that way? Like, why when I watch her film, I feel her grace. I feel grace. Why when she gazes at the camera, it's like you really feel it's like you say, a soul playing a role of just a girl, you know, like you feel it's a soul and it's beyond the icon. But the thing is, the human at the utmost, I mean, the icon at the utmost, or I would even say the industry, can only see what it sees. It will see the pioneer aspect, but we always have to go to the source. What was the driving force of this icon? And that's when you dig deeper, that's when you find spirit, you know, something more spirituality, something more spiritual, something more intimate, something that drives you to love, you know. Not fighting to have your credits. For those who don't know, like Mary Pickford was the first actress to have her name in the credit. Not wanting to have your credit for fame, but wanting to have your name in the credit so that the fans who are touched by the movies, who are writing letters, because they're going through real struggles, and they're related to, you know, a role that she played, or they're related to her energy, and she wants people to find her. So when they write that message, they know they're writing the message to that person, and it's not just the role.
girls. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Not just the girl with the curl, but you know, someone who is human, just like them. And that validates people.
It's beautiful to be talking about this at this time in our human evolution. You know, to be talking about the birth of what I call the storytelling fields. It transcends Hollywood as we sort of think of it, because I've really examined like, what is Hollywood, you know?
What is Hollywood, Jennifer?
Well, the way I've grown to perceive it is an energetic field. It's a storytelling field that encompasses an industry, encompasses artistry, encompasses ancient wisdom, encompasses a neighborhood. It sort of like has all these different aspects to it. But you talk about the vibration of words. Holly, what's holly? It's like holy. What's wood? It's earth.
Yeah.
And Pickford was very in touch with like indigenous wisdom and loved, you know, exploring native culture. And when you think about the archetype of mother, and we call her the mother of Hollywood, it's like the mother of the storytelling field, which doesn't start with Mary. Obviously, there's thousands and thousands of endless years and lifetimes and things of stories that we carry and we are, but she's like the pillar of this new incarnation, this new wave. And it became such a machine and such an industry and such a phenomenon that I don't know who has examined the root, like the root of really our human culture, actually.
Absolutely.
And it's story, of course, you know, and Pickford knew that. Like, she knew that there's a responsibility in that's powerful, you know.
In one time where the man decide, when the man submission of woman, when all woman is about a service to the man, she take powerful energy, rock and roll, and starting then
she was rock and roll, man. She was like this badass.
Yeah, she's angry with me. One night I dream her, and then because I try to drawing connection with her, and then becoming nothing, nothing. And then I'm very upset about this because never coming. And, you know, I need a catharsis connection, and then all starting. And one night I dream her. She's very angry with me because I like rock music. And then she said, Celio, why you won't listen my music from 1920? You have to listen your music, and then I want to enjoy with you your music. And then we had connection. And then the day after, I start with the rock and roll to sketch and connect with her. And becoming all story about her, Charlie Chaplin, is becoming all.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would love to make sure that's clear for people, because that's so powerful and such a important message from Mary Pickford, which is honoring your vision. So as you were channeling her to create your art, and you wanted to set the space with music that she would listen to of her time, she comes in with a message for you. It's like, listen to the music that you need to listen to. Like, honor your vision, do you. You're really channeling me as Mary if you do you, you know? And I love that you picked up on that, because we had never talked about that. That was a message you got from her. And I was like, that's so her, you know?
It's amazing.
So
and becoming all, and then
you're a very clear channel, Celio, like legit, yo.
Yeah, it's not done. I have more to do about her. We have project.
I know. Well, we just announced today something I never thought in a million years I would say to the world, which is that my movie is now a web series, and we are releasing episodes. And I'm really excited about it.
What, in the process of working of Why Not Choose Love, which was a project that it's a 10-year-old, like for 10 years, you've been working on this project. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's like it's more than something just for the industry. It's something more relatable, deeply. As you were in the industry, have you met resistance when you were working on this film, working to, either could be anything, having some allies, financing, or how was the response that you would have had when you were working on this project?
Whew, that's a big question. That's a very, very, very big question. It's funny because I was in a new moon ceremony recently, and actually I think Celio was there as well. And a message that I had been getting in my meditations that week was, resistance is an illusion. It's actually an invitation. It's actually a portal. So what feels like resistance is really a portal, an opening for us to step through in order to expand and to meet our challenges with self-compassion, to not look for others to validate or, understand. Although as a filmmaker, you want people to understand, because it really does take an army to pull off a vision. And so as a director, writer, producer, fundraiser, wearing so many hats, it's like my job was literally to constantly explain my vision, like for years and years and years and years and years and years on end. So did I meet resistance? What appeared to be resistance without clarity of resistance as a portal? I met loads of resistance. Yes.
And what?
In every realm.
Why was that, you feel?
In the beginning, it was, Jen, why would you direct this? You're not a seasoned director. We love the idea. Can we would you be a producer and we'll bring on a different director? So it was first saying, thank you so much for the idea, but no. That sounds so interesting, but no.
What made you still stick to the vision?
And in fact, one of those people ended up investing, one of the people that suggested I don't direct. So sometimes you actually, if you manage to stay neutral and still be open to people's ideas and very, what's the word? I guess diplomatically in a way, but firmly too, say no and express why I need to direct this, you know? Eventually he became a believer in me and he actually ended up investing. That was the one example of that, you know?
What are some of the trials and tribulations that you can share with us in that journey?
Oh my God, I would know.
Loads of resistance, loads of stories.
Yeah. I mean,
what was the common theme of resistance?
Sorry?
The common theme of resistance. Was it the same angle of resistance?
I guess I was like a little bit naive too, in the sense that, you know, people had a lot of like questions about being a female, you know, asking me if I was having a challenging time because I was literally a female. And I was like, I never thought of that. Like it never, ever, ever crossed my mind. I thought I had challenges and met resistance just because I like must be weird or, I mean, I grew up always seeing challenges. I mean, I don't know if that's unique or not, but I was aware of being challenged a lot in many situations growing up. So by the time I was like fighting for my role as a director, I just thought it was a continuation of that narrative from my childhood, which was just challenges. I never thought that it was because I was like in a female body. It like literally never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
So then people were explaining to me that perhaps Mary Pickford was like, I was gonna have someone told me that it was like cursed in a way, the story that like good luck getting it made, you know? And I was just like, what?
And it's funny to say that, like, if it would be a curse, it means that it's like there's like an industrial resistance towards the path of, you know, Mary Pickford.
I mean, I honestly, because I operated with such a warrior spirit, for better or for worse, I'm not saying that's always a good thing. The more someone said stuff like that to me, the more it motivated me. I didn't really stop to think about it. I would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, right. Keep going, you know? Another day at the office. Like, I didn't really like, but it was years later where all of these comments piled up on top of each other and all of these situations with, you know, people, industry, companies, everyone, like so many different types of entities.
As if that
not wanting this project, like not seeming like it was just a bad idea. Like a good enough idea to get the meeting to go talk about it, but then in the end, just like a bad idea. So after enough of that kind of piling up, eventually I did a bit of a contemplation of what is that? Like, I don't want to be jaded. I don't want to think that everyone is against a female story or everyone's against a female director, or that just seems too obvious and simple. Like, if that doesn't even seem like there's got to be more to this. So then I even went into like a super positive realm with it. Like, she chose me and she wants, and it had to wait this long, and we get to unveil her because no one really knows about her. So, I mean, historians do, and there's a lot of people in different circles that obviously know and love Mary Pickford.
But it was not like in a pop culture like, like that.
No.
And lately, I think we've been noticing there's more news coming out in which we see that Mary Pickford is mentioned. And
she's having a rebirth, like.
And seems you caught that 10 years, 10 years before.
No, it's great. Like, I do believe in divine timing, you know? I do believe that, like, there's a lot of fear too.
There is.
And I really was not so aware of the depth of fear in our like DNA and how that permeates humanity.
Yeah, and fear keeps the structure.
They say we're in a fear-based era, like our culture is like fear-based. And so if you imagine that Hollywood and the storytelling field is like a microcosm of the whole collective, and it is like an organism unto itself, but it feeds us and we feed it, and it's like, well, if we're in a fear-based culture, then fear has to be permeating that construct as well. Now you could analyze fear of what?
Fear of failure? Fear of what? Like fear, it's as if that there is a certain set of rules. And if those rules and parameters.
By the way, you guys, Celio and Satya, Satya, I just allowed you to record in Zoom because mine ended because I'm out of memory.
Oh, okay.
So you should have a record button at the bottom of your screen.
Maybe it's the sound when I drink my Cuba Libre.
Oh my God.
Let me see this. I've invited. Oh yeah, record. There we go.
Just hit record. You got it?
Got it.
Yeah.
Did it ask you where you want to save to? Or you're good? You got it.
Yeah, it's just recording.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fear of failure, perhaps, like needing to do things more formulaically in order to like try to mitigate risk. I realize there is fear of the feminine, but it's not so much the female body as it is the feminine principle, energy that we all have. Man and woman have the masculine and the feminine, but the feminine energy is like a space holder for all creation, is more magnetic and receptive than the doer, producer, ambition. Like, we need both. They need to both be in balance. And as women, we've been operating a lot more with the masculine as well.
Absolutely.
So I think there's fear that we all experience of like softening into that feminine energy and really, really allowing. And Mary Pickford really represents that. She had this sort of integration, beautiful kind of integration of feminine vulnerability and nurturing of artists and people, but also very paternal and strict and ambitious, and she would be considered more integrated than a feminist, so to speak, you know? I think.
Would we say that there's a certain, like the industry was, had a certain way that the female has to behave so that she can maybe go up the ladder and stuff like that?
In Mary's day or now?
I'm sorry?
In Mary's day or like over time?
I think even over time. I mean, just it seems that in the last 3 to 4 years, there's been like slowly a paradigm shift even in Hollywood. There's certain figures that, they used to be definitely, have a position of authority, which they do not anymore. And many things came up to light of what was going on in Hollywood. And we know, for example, when Mary Pickford was starting off, there was already somewhat of a structure, but Mary Pickford exemplified having this, you know, self-belief, and was very, like, you know, straightforward, like knew her path. Doesn't seem to be fear-based at all.
Not so much in that realm. I mean, that would come out more in her personal life. I mean,
Exactly.
She was the whole spectrum of human. But when it came to her work, yeah, she at least the way I see her as well is with very clear vision in that regard.
Such person cannot be manipulated.
No.
Especially when such person know its value. You know, I need more pay.
Yeah, and she was very clear that, like, for her, the money represented this ability to take care of family, ability to have a sustainable livelihood. You know, coming from poverty and coming from her background, she was fiercely dedicated to not just herself, but also freelance workers and artists and people being able to support their families. I mean, look at where we're at now with this pandemic and like what's going on with how many people just don't have sustainable livelihoods, you know? And she started the Motion Picture and Television Relief Fund for that reason in 1921. And they just did a huge fundraiser like last week with many major players in Hollywood to raise money for industry workers and honoring Pickford's original vision of that fund, you know? So she had a lot going on.
Did you have in your path, did you meet like certain people in position of authority that was like looking to kind of use that in a way that was definitely not, like, would say, politically correct?
Use what?
Position of power. For example, when we look at what have happened,
people in like power positions in our industry that were,
yeah, specifically,
that were like twisted or
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's part of our human culture too, is that like people are in pain and mentally unwell.
And do you feel there's more light that's been shed on that lately?
Light in terms of awareness, or light in terms of light?
Awareness.
I mean, I think we all know that there's been a spotlight put to some of the terrible things that have taken place, you know, but how do we heal, you know?
That's the question.
And so creating something that's called Why Not Choose Love, a Mary Pickford Manifesto, is really a piece of content to support exactly that message. Is like, can we choose that? And it's not the love that we think of in with our families or our romantic partners. It's like a love that's the love of creation, the vibration of creation in its purest form, right? It's like this really high frequency that is inside of us. It's like that level of homeostasis where spontaneous healing occurs, you know? It's like why you meditate, so you can get to that, the calm waters on the other side of the rocky ocean. There's always a layer of the sea that is completely calm. And can we move more into that space, you know? And maybe that's where some of the resistance, so-called resistance, also came from, is that my movie is not conventional. You know, it's they call it avant-garde or experimental, but one of Mary's relatives said that we captured her soul, you know? It's like, you can't get better than that, right? Like, but I believe that artists need to be supported to uphold their vision. Like, really, it's the heartbeat of humanity. We need artists to stay true, really. so we can expand, you know. And I believe that. I really believe that. Do you believe that?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Celio, do you?
I thinking about one question in my mind. Walking. Go back. Go back. And then I think Pickford in 1920 is the first star, and this epoch, no?
Yeah.
Live very hard. It's time to change something. The world industry all becoming, and now Mary Pickford is gone. Is vibration now because he's going. He's changed the time. He's changed the epoch, and then I think the soul, for sure, not have sex. The soul is not man, is not girl. The soul is freedom. No, is a soul. Uh, about you, what do you think about this question today? 2020, 100 years later, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the Mary Pickford soul is not woman, is not man, is a soul.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This soul vibration, where you think is inside now? What kind energy is uh, compare today about I imagine to the Mary Pickford. You
What
understand
kind
the
of
question?
what energy of an actual human that's alive today?
Yes, about the soul, about this woman, because the part important is the
Mhm.
soul. You understand? And then now is energy, but
But you're
when?
saying like the essence, who seems to have a similar essence?
Yes, a same powerful. Uh, what you imagine is today in this society.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, I do understand.
Is complicated questions, but I imagine is, for example, I'm a magic man, and then Mary Pickford now is there. Is
Mhm.
2020.
Okay, yeah.
Where is where you focus is in this society,
Mm-hmm.
in this community.
Mm-hmm.
You see one Mary Pickford today in this community?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have thought about this and felt into this question. Um, I don't see one person that I would say is an energetic, you know, match per se, but I see traces of Mary's essence in many people.
Wow.
Different actresses, performers, and also just people that I encounter, because it's like an archetype. It's a certain, like you say, energy that it's a feeling. And I'll meet certain people and encounter certain people, and I'll be like, oh, there's that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's magnetic. It's
Mm-hmm.
that kindred spirit connection, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel it with Mary Pickford.
Expansion to the Mary Pickford of today
Mm-hmm.
is extension about her.
Mm-hmm.
You say, okay.
I mean, like you said, there was, like Satya said, there was a fearlessness
Yeah.
with her. And that is hard to come by. But you can see it in certain people in certain moments. And you're like, there's that thing. And just like me or you or any of us, I don't separate
Yeah.
myself out. then you fall back into your
We are
fear.
extension to the Mary Pickford.
Yeah,
practically.
you fall back into your fear, but there's those moments where it's like you're like that manifesting generator. You're like, oh, I feel what it is I'm here to do, and I'm just gonna go and do it. Completely clear, completely gracefully. And like she said, the failure isn't in the falling down, it's in the not getting back up. Because life gets to be really playful. We get to fuck up, we get to reinvent.
But the vibration still there.
The vibration is like the constant. It's like the integrity. Yeah, totally. No matter how much you're fucking up, there's that vibration that's just you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Sometimes we do things out of like survival too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're scared just like about basic survival. Even if we don't need to be, we just are. And so it can lower the vibration, you know.
Especially when it gets stuck to that only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a scarcity mentality rather than an abundance mentality.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah.
Should we say would the scarcity mentality is what birth competition in a certain way as well versus collaboration? You know?
Hell yeah, man! Like, there's only one person that can do what you do. The way that you do it.
Yeah, 100%.
There is only one. There's no competition.
Woo.
There is no competition.
It's difficult. Many energy to make competition. I can. Competition is I don't know. Is not. Win is happiness only. Is too happy because you do something amazing, or you help some people. Competition is fight for win what? Competition. No, I'm better than you. It's not possible. This I don't like it.
Or people use it to put themselves down. Like, oh, I didn't attain this and this other person did, so I suck.
At the come in the moment can lose.
And then people are self-abusive, right? Like when you talk about the abuser and the abused lives inside us. That's why we allow certain things in without even realizing sometimes, doesn't make it our fault. It just means that we can be really vulnerable, Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It resonates. It does resonate.
Did I answer your questions about like resistance in the industry and why we're releasing the content digitally, which I'm so excited about?
Were you like, okay, so was that always the format?
I mean, I was on a panel in the Cannes Film Festival where I was like, I will absolutely never release my content digitally. I am here for theatrical purposes only.
And what was that resistance, you think?
That was 2012.
And here we are.
Yeah, that was when the budget was like 25 million, and then it becomes 16, and then it becomes 12, and then it becomes 10, and then 5, and then 2, and you're like, and then it's 9 years later. But it ends up with being the film that I really, really dreamt of. It wouldn't have been right at those other levels and those other brackets, so to speak.
It grew with the project.
My resistance to the digital I think at that time was just unfamiliarity. Also feeling like it was the integrity of the project, that we were telling the story of the pioneers of cinema, so we needed this to be in the cinema. Like it just seemed like part of the experience of the narrative. But there's a fluidity to life, and there's a flow, and you go with it. And now, yes, this was somewhat catalyzed by the pandemic, but also I have a true desire to let the content be educational and inspirational. And I did do work in the favelas in Brazil and in different scenarios in the world at different times in my journey. And I want all kinds of people to be able to see this. And so this is the way. It really is the way. And we'll show the movie in a theater. Like that'll happen. But this is really cool. It's cool. I'm really excited about it.
Wonderful. It seems like I would say like everyone is yearning for such content, it seems, you know. And it's interesting how, you know, the result includes, like, there's a term that you use that I really love, which is interdimensional synthesis. I don't know if you ever heard her say that, but interdimensional synthesis.
That's what Celio does in his work. Interdimensional synthesis.
Yes, it's intricate, but it's okay. I understand. Yeah.
I love Celio. I want to speak Italian so badly. What about it, Satya? What about interdimensional synthesis?
It's how there can be different, we could say actually different dimensions in the same synthesis, and it makes sense. It speaks to the soul, and we know that the soul can be in many dimensions at the same time. We know a person can be in different realms at the same time. We don't even need to go in quantum physics, just by, you know, one person, you know, it could be your parents, you know, it could be whoever in your life.
Well, you can literally, like, I could be here right now and having like a full-blown memory of being 5 years old.
Exactly, right?
That's just a simple way to state that, like, we're operating in many dimensions.
Many dimensions at the same time. And the result is a mind blown.
It's a mind blown. And the result is a mind blown.
It's a mind blown because we have, I don't know if we released the teaser, so I can say that. So we have Mary Pickford, and then we have, for example, Tupac.
Yes.
2 different eras. If we would like to put things in a box, we'd say, you know, what is the relationship between these two?
Independent artists. It's super simple.
So
that's
it seems
one thing they have in common.
That's just one thing, you know, like
Pioneers.
Exactly.
Poets.
It's wonderful. It's like it calls to connect the dots, to see beyond. And so again, when you say interdimensional synthesis, it's interesting because when somebody in the light, when you say a close one of Mary Pickford, say you captured her soul. If we know soul is interdimensional, and they say you captured her soul, it had to be, it had to be like that.
Well, I think she's really directing this, by the way.
Can you say that again?
Mary Pickford is the director. She is the conductor.
Woo. Channeling that. And it takes guts as a director to listen to that.
True.
That's crazy. Like, I'm going to make this film with Mary Pickford. I'm just going to throw Tupac. And just that, and Tupac is just one, you know, figure that I'm mentioning now. Is we haven't released all the other.
Wait, Celio, are you tired?
No, it's only 4 in the battery. I think my face disappear in 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, if your face disappears, then we'll just say we love you, and whenever your face disappears, that's fine.
Yes, it's soft light. Go down, go down. It's so far.
I mean, speaking of souls, that painting, that picture behind Celio is like in every conversation we have. And I feel like she's Mary Pickford too, I think.
It's many, it's many. This is my box. A lot of pictures.
Wow. Anyone on this chat like needs to know who Celio Bordin is.
Yes, and for say hello, I show them wait second, just a second. Okay, okay,
Oh, that
my
looks like
God.
my kitty.
yeah.
That really looks like my kitty.
Okay. And the human,
Oh, there's so many fun
the
people
neck.
on this chat. I'm so like blown away. I've never done Facebook Live. I mean, we tried one time.
It's icon.
Yeah, that's an iconic kitty.
That's for sure. I mean, I'm sure my cat would look up to him.
Well, Celio and I were in Italy together. You and Exodius, your partner, Satya, were there in spirit because she had some art there as well. And
Absolutely.
you guys are contributors. Couldn't make the trip over, but yeah, it's been a fruitful journey.
It's been a journey.
Yes, amazing experience. And Biennale di Venezia is.
I mean, Celio, you facilitated that.
It's connection, vibration.
You got me a dress from 1920.
Oh my God.
They were like, hey, wear this dress. So I put it on. I was like, oh, this is cool. I know nothing about fashion. I thought they would say it was from the year 2000. They were like, this is from 1920, the year Mary Pickford was in Italy. I was I wore a dress from the year she was there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's
like,
incredible. Incredible. Yeah. And the room, you remember the room, the piano, everything.
Yeah, I came out on a grand balcony.
Energy.
And Auntie Ivy did like a big indigenous prayer, and Scott did a meditation, and it was just so magical. It was like a birth. It was a real birth for this messaging.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Celio.
Thank you, everybody. Nice, very nice. I'm very excited. And then I have a lot of energy. Today I'm a little bit tired, but I have a lot of energy for this new beautiful project,
Humanizing the Icon. And we're chatting with Ben Stewart on Wednesday, who directed Esoteric Agenda.
Yes, and we saw what's coming.
Oh my God, you guys, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let your face go away whenever it does.
Okay. Say hello, and then kiss you, love you, and icons. Humanizing.
Humanizing. Okay, love you.
Ciao.
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 Ciao. What, Satya, where were we?
Says she while she takes a sip.
So juicy.
Where were we? My God.
have a little red wine. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Why
I
not?
don't drink anymore, but you know me. I do every once in a while.
Yeah, it allows, it allows allowing.
We're celebrating that we're the announcement and our friendship and all these incredible people that have either popped up for a second or are watching us. I don't know, but it's so nice.
Absolutely.
People that worked on the film too. I saw Aaliyah, she was an editor. I saw John Vaughn, he's a composer.
Yeah. Jamie as well. Remember her singing.
Oh my gosh.
In Los Angeles. It was beautiful, so soulful and powerful.
So beautiful. We should tell people, can you tell if anyone's still on right now? Is anyone?
I do see. Yes.
Are there people there?
Yes.
Okay, maybe can you type a message? We should tell people that they should look out for the party we're having next Friday night.
Absolutely.
We're
having a virtual party, people.
Yeah, and it's going to be an experience. I called it so it's a launch party for the Why Not Choose Love, Mary Pickford Manifesto, New Breed web series, formerly movie, still movie. We're launching 3 of the episodes on Friday, and we're going to do a really cool experiential party.
Yes.
So if you want to come, email. What are you doing over there, Satya?
I'm writing that message that people.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, they can email humanizingtheicon@gmail.com because we only have a certain number for space, believe it or not.
Yes, we do. It's not because it's virtual that it's limitless in that sense.
And whoever comes gets access to the whole series because only 3 of the episodes are being made public because of our partnerships and things that we get to announce over the next month or 2. We're having like a soft opening. So
what do you think people are going to get out of it?
It's like a digital sneak preview. But it is important that we share this so that we can start pushing out the message of art matters. I think art matters.
Absolutely. Because, when we have something good that can highly contribute to anyone's life, or they're waiting for a message, and that film, there's that, there can be an answer. We cannot just not push it. We cannot just not promote it. It's like when you're having a medicine, you have to promote your medicine. We have to let people know about the medicine. And right now we are hearing the calling to just put this thing out. And it was in a different format, and now it's digital, and it's definitely fluid this way.
It's so we shot it as vignettes. Like, who knew that we had webisodes in our movie?
Isn't it?
It's perfect. They're like puzzle pieces.
Exactly. For anyone watching this, May 29th, we're having this virtual launch party, and we're going to be releasing 3, right? 3?
Yeah, the first 3.
The first 3 episodes, and the spaces are limited. As I said, it's not because it's virtual. There's limitless in that sense.
Well, it's limited because because of the experience that we're creating.
Exactly.
There's a certain number that is going to work perfectly.
Exactly. It has to be intimate.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be actually very, pretty much a privilege, because we'll be able to really connect and live this experience together.
This actor friend of mine named Breon Davis that was in Embrace of the Serpent, this really beautiful movie that actually ended up getting Oscar nominated, but it was like a really little Colombian film that went all the way, which was special. He was like, Jen, you throw amazing parties. So I'm expecting this to live up to that. And I was like, oh shit. We do throw really good parties in the flesh. Can we make it as like, oh shit, we've got some standards to like uphold.
To live up to. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, are we gonna be howling at the moon and like drinking cacao? And like, I'm like, no, we can do better than that. Come on. Because at the first screening of our movie, I like did a full-on cacao ceremony before the screening for like 100 people on the actual birthday of United Artists, the 100th birthday.
Why do you feel it's always important to kind of tune in like that?
That's a good question. I'm into universal mathematics and numerology and cycles. So there's always symbols that pop, dates and numbers and waves of this collective psyche, and like there's things that pop out. it's like, I'm ready to do my first screening, and in 4 weeks, it's the 100th birthday of United Artists. Like, who could have planned that? After so many years of working on something, at the time I was ready to show people, it was that 100-year marker. Like, of course I'm going to do a birthday party. So Colleen, our production designer slash super close friend of mine, literally, like, they brought like birthday things. We did like a birthday party for United Artists. It was like, and we did the cacao ceremony, and some people didn't even know what cacao was. It was like a lot of industry people, and like, just some people don't experience those things, right? So they came, and there was no alcohol, and it was just like kombucha before anyone knew hard kombucha existed. It was like regular kombucha, and cacao and water and elixirs and things like that. It was the first time some people had ever been to a screening that didn't serve booze before it. But it was such a powerful experience to, like, because cacao releases endorphins, and to bring people up that way before entering and watching the film, and like really setting the intention of honoring Pickford, honoring the mother, celebrating 100 years of photography and United Artists, getting everybody in that space, and then going in to watch it. It's powerful, right?
It's powerful, absolutely, because it's a ceremony.
It was a ceremony, yeah.
It's a ceremony, right? So it's, I guess it's like putting people really in the moment. There's something you say once that really struck with me. We were talking about when, all these experimental thing, or I forgot the term people use. I just have a blank. What is it again? Forgot the term. Maybe you'll caught me on that. And
hard?
No, it's all these technology that are currently being used so that you can really have like an experience and all of that.
Oh,
right?
Virtual reality?
We could say, in a way. And you say something once that really struck me. You said, well, having an experience is to be in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it seems when you're doing those ceremonies, it's about that, right? Before watching the film, to really like being in tune and being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And really to be able to be in a state of consciousness where you can actually receive.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's dope, because that's it's like not necessarily the need of technology to have an experience,
Mm-hmm.
or augmented experience, but just being in the moment, in tune with your senses, in tune with what's being delivered, is provide an augmented reality.
It's true, because we just come into every situation with so much baggage, right? Like, even just from that day or that hour or that car ride or whatever the mind is sort of carrying. And it's like, whatever I can do to help people settle into the moment, so to speak, or the space, it's like a gift. Even if you don't love the movie, it kind of doesn't matter. It's just, can you allow it? Can you just allow the moments to unfold? Hard. We always want to be thinking or calculating or assessing or judging or ourselves or others or whatever. But what if you could just be and just allow without evaluating, it's so refreshing.
I'm good right now. I'm just feeling it right now. Even more. Even more. State of allowing and receive. Not in a state of judgment. Not in a sense of filtering.
It's like the art of allowing. There's an art to allowing.
And it is, because how can we bring a message, or how can we even listen to our intuition if we cannot just allow?
you cannot. Or you can, but you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like you totally might accidentally follow your intuition.
Yeah.
But beauty is in like also knowing that you're doing that. So you create a relationship and a trust with it. And
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
You know, it reminds me, I was last summer, I was going to my folks' house and I was running there and I took a path that I don't usually take. And I remember catching myself like, why am I turning here? Like, anyway.
Yeah.
And I stumbled upon a big box of books, and
Aww.
the book that was on top of it was a book I was looking for. I was intentionally looking for. And that is a rare book, which is not easily found. You can actually find it almost nowhere.
Really?
Yeah. And so it took about like 7 days for life to manifest the book in the most random way.
Oh, I remember this story. You love this story. It's a good story. Yeah.
So it's so as an artist, and also as what you have done with the project, it's about, when you can listen to that intuition and allowing it. There's even in a sense that not even feeling pressure to manifest, because it seems that it will manifest. We just have to kind of, like you said, maybe you have a certain set in your life, the people that people that things that remind you of that relationship with universal, and that allows you to actually manifest that things that must be manifested. Mm-hmm. And wishes beyond the mind, beyond your thoughts, beyond everything.
Yeah, you're talking about your relationship with source energy.
Yeah, with source, exactly. And this project, Why Not Choose Love, for people listening as well, it's like, it's just 100% that.
Yeah, but yeah.
Because that's why, it has the tags of unconventional, avant-garde, and all these, different lexicon that are being used to describe the film, because it doesn't necessarily follow a linear way of telling a story. It follows more the way that we actually experience a story, or our own story, when we are open, not just to a linear way of experience our own life. And there will be certain glitches.
It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, because it's like peeling layers of the psyche. Like you peel one layer and you go into another memory, but you actually experience in the content this feeling of going into another aspect of her inward, almost like being John Malkovich. You like go in the psyche. Because I think Aaliyah, the editor that was just on, because we called one of the scenes the speakeasy. The scene where all the different characters, Charlie Chaplin and her husbands and stuff, they all show up, and her best girlfriends. Are you there?
Yeah, him. Sorry, I was looking at my phone with our live as well.
But do you know the scene where all these different characters show up as different aspects?
Yes.
Her ego, of her psyche. It's like, you are in my life and you represent this piece of me, like I can't see you for you. I can only see you as what you represent to me.
Yeah.
So they all showed up dressed as different characters that Mary played.
Exactly. Like in a dream.
And we kept calling it the speakeasy scene, because it kind of riffed off the idea of like opium dens and back in Prohibition, when they would have like underground parties. And so it was sort of like a amalgamation, if you will, of these different ideas. And Aaliyah, the editor, said, this movie is your speakeasy, Jen.
Whoa.
you know? And as an artist, you're like, oh yeah, because people forget this with filmmakers because it's such an industry, but there's certain filmmakers that are visionaries and they really are one with the art, you know, like a painter getting lost in the painting, but like, that's no different from any human being, even if you don't identify as an artist, being lost in your speakeasy, in your relationships, in your house, your manifestations, your designs, your perceptions, your belief structures. Like we all have our own speakeasy. And I'm the lead character in mine, and you're a supporting character.
Yeah.
And the movie is like an extension or some layer, you know? But then the project becomes part of your speakeasy too.
Absolutely.
Being someone who touched it, who worked on it.
Absolutely.
And what it is to you is not what it is to me.
Yeah.
But it might be.
Exactly.
And that's where you become interdimensional too, because you're like, oh wait, I might have met someone who actually kind of sees it the same way.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of dancing to a similar beat.
Exactly.
And it's like, whoa, we were like speaking our own language within a day of meeting each other.
Absolutely.
Like no we understood. Doubt.
We what?
We understood each other.
Absolutely.
With Exodius, like the way we all met, and it just shows you that you can find those connections.
Exactly.
And bring your speakeasies together. Or something. I don't even know what I'm talking about now. But
you definitely know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. I know. Anything. I'm just in the void.
And it matches my speakeasy. It matches Exodius' speakeasy. It definitely matches it. And I think that's what's remarkable is that you said earlier in this talk that it's so important to follow, you know, for an artist to follow their vision and to go for it. Well, is that when you really go for it, you actually, you know, have such a clear frequency and vibration and way of, you know, being a lead character that you're actually meeting somebody who's dancing that same rhythm or similar rhythm, complementary rhythm. You wouldn't dance with them if you didn't dance in the way that you're called to dance, you know, with your authentic self, you know?
And I so truly, with all my heart, want that for like every person.
Absolutely.
I want all of us to know what our beat is. And for me to honor your beat, even if I don't think I like it, but okay, you still can have it. And I can still respect it even without needing it in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That people want to associate with what they need, what they think they need. Opportunism too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that could explain some resistance.
Where did we just land? What just happened? Are we really here right now?
It's happening. Like it's happening. Just like this apple is here right now.
Oh my god, here we go. Should we get off? This is scary. Just kidding. Uh-oh, the fear is taking over. We're gonna be judged. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my god, taking a bite of this apple of knowledge.
Is there anything like else? You ask such good questions. You're very like provoking.
Really?
We covered a lot though.
Huh?
We covered a lot.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. of being in a moment. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Having two speakeasies meetings like that, and like like it's funny you say that because I had this moment too. Like, am I really here at this time having this conversation? Like, okay, it's really happening. It's not that allowing and not necessarily following a format.
Yeah.
Just being the raw energy, the vulnerability, the pure art. And it's beyond words. I had a talk with someone, and we reached a point in the conversation once that he's a holistic practitioner, and we had this conversation, and we reached the point where we just reached a total silence, and over the phone, we're not even seeing each other. It's not even a video call, and like, I think we stayed like that for like 5 minutes, and we're like, and he said, "Yo." That's the gift. That's what that's what broke the silence. Like, that's the gift. And what it was, I mean, I don't want to put words to it. Obviously, there's a reason why it was a silence, but it's that when you, that connection.
It feels so good, right? It does. If I go like this, that's because of my cat. Sorry. I realized that could look really funny, and I was just seeing my cat look so cute.
Oh, what's your cat's name?
Well, there's Gatsby, like the Great Gatsby.
Man.
And there's Houdini.
What inspired you like to give those names to your cat?
Guess what?
What?
I didn't.
Oh my God. Uh-oh, I feel judged. I feel we're being judged again.
That was part of the omen, right? Like, I'm like, I just made a movie about Mary Pickford. Gatsby was named Gatsby. And so I adopted him. And then Houdini is mentioned in my movie. There's a line about Houdini in my movie.
My God.
In our movie, I should say, actually. They were both omens.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
By the way, John, there's Jamie that's watching us, and there's also John who just like logged in. What's up?
John Vaughn?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and Catalina. Oh, John Togg. Are you talking about John Togg or?
Oh, maybe there's another John. We have another John then.
He's actually in the movie. He plays the lawyer during the coquette scene.
So it's like we're connected.
That's
like
sweet.
Absolutely.
And old friends on here. Yeah, super cool. Super, super cool.
Let's have another one of these conversations. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have those.
It's very cathartic, and I'm glad that we did this as like an experiment just to see what the platform was like, and to also see each other, to say we're excited about our project, and it's encouraging people to honor their vision.
Yeah.
Not just artists, but all people.
All people. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you do, honor your vision, especially if you see that it's not the norm, and you see that there is certain aliveness in your vision, and you see it could be a yearning, it's a healing for you. It could definitely be healing for others as well. And there's, they would like to meet your speakeasy as well.
Yeah, and sometimes the vision is just to allow no vision.
That's 100%. I love that.
Rather than forcing something, and only filling that gap with things that are worthy, allowing the emptiness until there's something worth going into your speakeasy or vortex or whatever,
How do you go into your void?
How or what's it like?
What's it like?
Because how is sometimes just being thrust there. And other times it's consciously putting myself there. This week I was thrust. I had all kinds of garbage, emotional garbage, just like literally coming up. So much fear and so much garbage sounds judgmental. See,
But I found
we
it
have to be careful with words again.
That's for sure. But I thought it was interesting you said garbage at the very same time. Like I agree with what you just said in the sense that, oh, we have to be careful with words. And at the very same time, I was like, oh, that's interesting you're saying that, because I was gonna ask, like, garbage in a sense that no longer needed.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like
Right?
it's excess it no longer serves, but it's old patterns. But stuff that's now recognizable. Like there's one aspect to our behavior and patterns that when you're ignorant to it, it's less frustrating, or it's like frustrating in a different way because you're not really aware of it, you know?
You're just stuck in a pattern.
Yeah. But once you become aware of it and you see yourself doing certain things, it's just like, what are you doing? You know better. But you can't do that. That's not nice.
Is it comfortable?
You have to hold yourself as a child and be like, there's no such thing as doing better. Just accept that you're working through it. But it was a purge. There was some stuff really, really, truly coming up. And also around releasing this content in this format, like definitely feels like another part of the birthing process, you know, and sort of like, it's a metaphor. It's not about me and my movie or this or that. It's really just a symbol of deconstructing identity and allowing, you know, and sometimes that's painful. And this week was painful for me. But then you're just like, once you get to the other side of it, you're like, oh, I just got rid of some shit. You know, some shit that I've been carrying, and that was cool.
That's dope.
But I guess so, yeah.
The journey is not easy when it happens, though. It's not necessarily pleasant in that, you know, in that way.
It's like
going through a certain death.
It's like going into ceremony, really, like deciding to go there. Like when I did Vipassana for 11 days of silence, this week reminded me of that. There's just like all this stuff coming and you're kind of like, what do I do? You know, restless and angst and like, lots of crying.
Was it like, did you experience like it was also like certain things that had to be kind of be thrown in the void, or it was the void calling you? Or there's stuff like stopping you from being in the void?
Yeah, it's like I didn't want to accept that I'm in a void. You know, when you try to be in control of circumstances, and when you're at a stage of your evolution or development where you already know you're not really in control of most things, you're in control absolutely of how you respond and react to things, and like you shape things, but you're in control of your vibration, which like informs circumstances, you know, but you're not like in control of anything really outside of your own vessel. And so when I get in a whirlwind of trying to control things, it blows up a lot of times, you know, because I know that surrender, inspired action is key. Inspired action is really clean and clear. Action that's like spinning wheels, you know, because you just need to stay in motion, is kind of like neuroses. And I was experiencing that when I know I can just go quiet. Like I can go quiet and find my center and know that everything's fine and not do anything. And more gets done in the moments of not doing anything.
Absolutely.
Because the flow is just allowed to then. It's like planting seeds in a garden and thinking that you need to stand over the seeds and poke at them and tell them to grow and like, you'll kill them. Like you need to allow them to grow and come back and like water them. And like, there's a dance, you know? So sometimes it's a really fluid one and sometimes it's a bit choppy, especially when you're needing to purge certain aspects of your emotional state in order to really grow into what you're really doing. Like you can really be the one that's resisting your own success.
Whoa.
And all those things and people that appear to be resistant is really your being manifesting this state of resistance in order to have that mirror to look into and realize it's just me resisting me. Whoa. I don't even know if that's true. I don't have any idea what I just said. I just know that's an aspect to the thought process that just came up. I have no idea.
Man, that's damn. That was good. I mean, I'll say nothing. Just a moment of silence. Just like
you bring it out. You bring it out. Where's Exodius?
I think she's watching. I see she's watching in the other room. Like
Exodius edited our teaser that went up today.
Yes. Yes. And that was cool. That was.
What was it like making that? Like looking at all the footage or not all the footage, but the whole cut.
It's like, again, it's like I'm comparing that to, it's like you're speaking and you're learning as you speak. You're actually like receiving the wisdom that you're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, because you're in the moment, you're saying that, but you're at the very same time, you're like, oh, like as I'm speaking, I'm realizing and I'm learning from what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, working on that teaser was exactly that. Because we were like, okay, we got the footage. Pull up, my cat wants to step out.
Oh, that's your cat? I thought that was my cat. He wanted to go out.
Yep. And I'll leave the door open. Well, yeah, so we're working on a teaser, and what's interesting is that
we've been on here for 2 hours.
I know, it's crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I can't wait to kind of rewatch that, and there's certain excerpts that I'm gonna take and just use the audio and
like some sound bites and make some trippy shit.
Yeah.
I
love what you just said. That was dope.
Oh, I say yo because of you guys, and I love it so much. I say it all the time. It rolls right off my tongue, and I know exactly where I got it.
Yo. It's good. It's good. Like the bliss.
But the teaser, sorry. So you were, yeah.
Yeah, because you make that teaser, and it's like you kind of have a story within the story.
Yep.
You know, you're just inspired by, okay, let's take that scene, and how, you know, you're like, okay, how about we start with, you know, that scene, and then, oh, like, I think it would look good to have, okay, then we have this other scene. And you kind of go with your feeling. You're watching, but you're also going with a sense of like unknown. You feel like driven.
You guys did a great job.
And then you rewatch it, and you're like, oh shit, it's so good. Like the storyline, like, oh, whoa. And you're kind of tripping because you don't even feel that you made it. You just feel that it was made. You know what I mean?
You really channeled it. Like, I don't mean to overuse that word, but it's such a great word. Frequency.
I know.
Vibration. These are good words.
So yeah, and so it was definitely something to, you know, you have Mary Pickford saying what she's saying.
I love the way it started. Martine, our producer, who was just on too, said she loved the way it started.
Oh wow.
Even though Sophie, I was like, her cheeks are really rosy, and Exodius was like, they're cute. We need to color her cheeks to make them less rosy. No, it is really cute, and she's super passionate as Mary Pickford in that scene when she's saying, you know, Zucker is going to own her contract again, and the studios are lining their pockets with her name and Chaplin's name, and this was like her convincing them, Chaplin and Fairbanks and stuff, that they needed to, you know, start their own company. And I love that. I feel like in this pandemic scenario, it's like almost asking all of us to look at what independence means.
Yo.
Because we're kind of in our own speakeasies as we're in quarantine.
Yeah.
Literally at home, and also meta speaking, like just with whatever is coming up. Yeah, like who are you when you're alone, really? Like, what do you want to really be doing, you know, with your time and your energy? And I love that teaser opens with this like assertion of Mary Pickford being like, we need to go independent. You know? And then you see Tupac being like, and you're not born independent. You gotta learn how to be independent. And I really thought about that when I heard him say that, like, yeah, you're kind of not born independent.
Yeah.
Like, you may be somewhere in your being, in your inner being, maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, I don't even want to say
like
anything.
Born into this family, and you're born into this society.
Exactly.
And it's beautiful, and it's all its own ways, but like, what is independence? Does it exist?
Right. Like, for sure, there's like this thing, you know, interdependence. Independence, like, even to be interdependent, there must be some type of realization of, because there is like unconscious interdependence, but then when it's a conscious thing, there's a certain level of independence that must be there, so you could actually serve the interdependence very well. So when you can fall, like, I love what you just said, like, who are you when you're when you're alone? Like, how do you want to use your time? Like, you have that choice. And by, again, theme of this conversation, following your, like, allowing the void, you sit there and then you feel, you know, there may be like a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas or whatever, you know, useless thoughts, whatever. But then, you know, you sit in there and then you have a certain sense of something that you want maybe to do, but only because it feels fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like, truly fulfilling. And it honors the talents and the skills and the abilities you're born with. It serves you, and you're like, oh, that can actually serve others as well. But it doesn't come like necessarily intellectually. You actually feel it. You are, like you said, inspired action. You are inspired. You know, like a painter is like, let me just get that sleepless night and just work on that painting. I gotta do this thing now, you know, and then you work on it. But that moment is like an independent moment in a sense.
Christina. Okay, so yes, independent moment. Yes.
Yeah.
And Christina is an art historian.
Whoa.
That I met on the street in New York, who lives in Quebec somewhere.
Oh, really?
And she,
Quebec?
yes, I'm blanking on exactly where she can tell us, but she's the one who brought me Mary Pickford's book.
Whoa.
In Montreal.
Oh.
Happened to bring back the copy I gave her in New York. That was the copy that I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring it to Satya and Exodius' studio so Exo can chant the words.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have had that book. She just,
Whoa.
I didn't ask her for it. She just happened to bring it on her visit.
So you're talking about the manifesto?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I only physically had it because she brought it. And she just joined from your area, probably somewhere.
That's crazy. I remember the book, like that yellow book.
You guys need to meet actually because you're so close and she goes to probably Montreal quite a bit. I don't know what's going on now. Hi, I miss her.
Oh my God, that's so connected. And
then Catalina worked on this project for so long in development, was a big part of it, is a big part of it. So it's nice to see their names near each other.
Well, again, that interdependence, right? All connected.
Well, it's like even with Mary Pickford starting United Artists, it's like the spirit of independence. But she was still having to convince people of things. Chaplin still owed a bunch of movies to another studio and couldn't do his job at UA. It was like the spirit of being independent, but behind the scenes, how independent are you really?
Exactly. And that spirit is definitely here right now. I have friends who's like, hey, I so want to grow my own thing. I've heard people talking about it so much, and now they're actually making very concrete actions, inspired action about that.
They're doing it now, right? Because they're not in the rat race as much right now.
Exactly. That's independence.
We've held on to 3 people.
My brother's.
Your brother?
Yeah, my brother's here. An artist as well. Amazing artist, visual artist.
Hey, is this able to be seen on yours too or no?
Oh, I shared it on my page.
On your Instagram?
No, on my Facebook. I shared it on my Facebook, on my page.
Like a replay or what?
It's live.
Oh, you were able to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've seen a couple of peeps popping up from my network, cousins and stuff. I'm like, yeah, cool.
Through your page.
Yeah, exactly. I shared it.
So cool. Okay, that's great.
It's dope.
We go on Instagram. Do you think we can?
Man.
I mean, it's the same that we did last time, right? You just need the headset though.
Yeah, hold up. You would have to send me an invitation. Yeah.
But get the headset so there's no feedback.
And I'll turn off. Hold up now. But people still gonna hear us speak. Yeah, absolutely. On Facebook. Yeah, let's go.
We'll be on Zoom, Facebook, and Instagram.
Restroom break. Hold up.
You're leaving me on Facebook Live by myself? What do I do? I'm scared.
No,
I'm just kidding. There's no one. There's 2 people on mine. But it's cool. It's nice to see peeps. I'm gonna see if we can do it all so I can get familiar with these platforms. New terrain. So if I plug in this headset. Hi, Gatsby. Hi, little boy.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, I know what I need. Lina taught me a new way, so I'm gonna go get the other part. Yes, baby. Where's my other? See, my cats like really, really want to go outside.
Really?
But they can't without me. That's the thing. So it sucks.
How does that feel?
Well, I wish they could be more free than they are, you know?
Absolutely.
So what are you doing? So you're plugging into... Oh, I gotta find my other headset. Hold on.
Seems like you're inspired.
I'm inspired?
Dropping some stuff.
What are you doing? I don't understand.
So for everyone watching this right now, on May 29th, we'll be launching 3 episodes of Why Not Choose Love, which originally was a movie format, like a regular movie, cinema, theatrical format, and it will be a web series. And on May 29th, we have 48 space for anyone who would like to be part of it. We'll be doing that on Zoom and perhaps other platforms. And basically, we're going to be launching the episodes. You'll be able to, watch it, having that preview with us together, and you'll definitely be able to have a conversation with Jennifer DeLia. She's the director,
Yeah, if anybody
producer, and so much. And that project is a project that pretty much like for 10 years.
Almost 10.
Almost 10?
Yeah.
Almost 10 years. Introducing a new paradigm right now. There's a world shift right now, and there's definitely something happening also in the industry. And it's this project is very aligned. So for everyone who are, if you're looking to, honor your vision and see the story of somebody, Mary Pickford, who we like to say she's the mother of Hollywood, who really honored her vision and was fearless in manifesting her vision. We feel that can be a very inspiring story for anyone, whatever is your field. You could be an artist or whatnot, but it's all about following your gut-driven, your gut-driven action and inspired action and lead to manifestation. And it's a very unconventional biopic. It's not a conventional biopic at all. At all.
It's not conventional, people.
There's nothing conventional about that.
That's becoming conventional.
And that's becoming conventional. I like that. Exactly. And I just put the email in the comment section, so you can just send us a message to reserve your spot and let us know if there's people that you feel would be called to join in.
Are we really gonna do this with Instagram?
I guess we'll do, and we'll drop the message. It'll be like a restart. and then we'll go bye-bye. Hold up a second.
Yeah, and then we'll go bye-bye, exactly.
Because I feel you.
How long can we really talk?
Yeah, we can. All right. I'm live right now. All right. Hello, fellows. Currently going live here. We've been going on live already, me and Jennifer DeLia, for like, I don't know how long, maybe 2 hours already.
You started a live, but yes, I'm starting a live.
Oh my God. So I'll be ending this right now.
Oh, I can go on yours if you want, whatever you prefer.
Okay, I have my cousin joining. Hey, what's up, people? Hold up now.
Do you want me to go on to yours?
I'll be having, you can join in. I'll send you an invitation. Come on mine, and it will be doing this. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm doing this interview conversation with Jennifer DeLia right there.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look for you, Satya.
All right, just come on in and send me an invitation. And we'll
Why don't you have a picture?
I don't.
It's so weird.
All right. Let me see how I can you just click on the request and okay.
I did.
All right. Do this now. Hey, what's up, cousin? What's up, Fatsi?
Are we gonna get all this feedback? Wait.
No, I'm just gonna turn down. All right, turn down. That's connecting. Yeah, what's up?
Can we still be heard on the computer?
We should, yeah, because the mic is still on, so people will still be able to hear us. That's what I feel.
can, can Exo check?
I don't know if she's still alive right now in
Okay,
terms
I was
of
gonna say,
in
can she
our
hear us?
if she's still in our world. But
Probably
all the-
not.
for the people on Instagram right now, can you just introduce yourself?
Introduce myself.
Yeah,
I am myself.
I love that. And what are the activities that yourself likes to do?
Can I turn my computer down more?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't hear no feedbacks.
Can I still be heard on the computer right now?
Let me check.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, 3,
I
4.
hear you very well.
Oh yeah. I love when that works out.
All right.
What activities do I like?
I know you were first in my world, you were introduced as just a girl walking inside my holistic center. When it was there, you were just a girl playing yourself and you had curls, just you still kind of do now.
Yeah, they're a little like brushed out, right?
And then you mentioned that you're also a movie director, producer, writer, artist.
Yeah.
And then also a channeler. And in the sense that you are really in a moment and you inspired action. And and Wish led us to meet and led us to collaborate together in a project called Why Not Choose Love, which is an unconventional biopic on Mary Pickford. We like to say the mother of Hollywood.
Yeah, and you guys actually helped me rename the movie.
My cousin's like, the kid is so cute.
Oh, that's Houdini. That's Houdini.
He is.
Houdini.
So
and he's like at my feet, like.
So you're saying that we actually helped you rename the movie? Tell us about that.
Yeah, because Mary Pickford wrote the pamphlet called Why Not Try God? And throughout that book, she's really talking about God as this universal love frequency. And so we, in our session together, would replace the word God a lot of times with love. And we kept saying, why not choose love? Like we were just saying that. And then I think I said, maybe that's the title. And you guys were like, but you guys encouraged that, maybe even said it first. I don't really know, but we were like in that moment where I was like, yeah. So her book is called Why Not Try God? And we changed it basically to Why Not Choose Love? From
try to choose, from God to love.
And try and choose. Try is like, to me, making effort, which feels hard. Choose is like empowerment, like simple, like you just have a choice.
It's like you're making the decision.
Yeah, and we're offering people the question to come to mind to say, why not choose love?
Why not choose love in whatever you do?
Why not? In any given moment, like even if you're passing someone on the street, like just choose love.
Choose love, absolutely, absolutely. It's funny because walking in the street and we are different people, but same human experience in a way.
We're in many dimensions right now. We're on, for the 5 people watching us, we are on Zoom, Facebook, and Instagram. And I'm in my body, and I'm in this house.
And we're having this connection beyond time and space.
Yes.
And what would make us, like right now at this time, having this conversation? Is there something about love in there? Is there an intuition, a call that we're answering? All the people watching needed to connect right now, or need to hear the words that I'm currently saying. Am I channeling that?
Mm-hmm.
So when you got into this project, what was the inspiration? Like, how did you discover Mary Pickford, first of all?
I mean, consciously, I discovered her in an art exhibit in Toronto, at the Toronto Film Festival headquarters. I was with a producer I was working with at the time, and we had a few minutes to kill, like after a meeting, like waiting for a cab or something like that. And it was like raining outside, and there was a gallery space, and it said silent screen legend Mary Pickford. And that wasn't even really, I don't think, what called me to it, but I was just, oh, let's go in there while we wait for the cab. Like, it was just like one of those things, you know? And then we walked through it, and I was like, what? I had this like head to toe visceral response to meeting her, basically. I grabbed my producer's arm and she said the same thing, that I grabbed her arm literally and said, we have to tell this story, like after 5 minutes.
Isn't it interesting that you have discovered Mary Pickford, which then led to a long journey of almost 10 years to birth this project? Isn't it interesting that you discovered her when you had time to kill?
In the void.
In the void. So as if, when we're spontaneous, we're more receptive. And we're more following.
And then the
our
connections
instinct.
were like insane. Like, she died 3 months before I was born in the same year. We're like practically the same height, the same like eyes, and the same like hair. And then she married a guy from Kansas that like lived down the street from me, where I grew up in Kansas, of all places. And like, I like worked by her old office when I was 17, my first internship, like on the same studio lot, but I had like no idea who she was, but her name's everywhere. But I was completely unaware. So many weird parallels. Weird.
I like what cousin Desiree just saying. She says, when you have time to kill, she says, it allows more time to be fluid in your ventures.
Definitely.
Fluid. Absolutely.
Yeah, to just flow.
By the way, she's a very talented stylist and fashion girl. Just want to say that, put that out. Desiree, she is.
Desiree, cool.
Yeah. And by the way, we're having a discussion because it's also about, we're talking about when we honor our vision, truly going for it without just the mental construct, and just going for it. So, you were fluid in your venture, and here you are, like almost 10 years later, we're coming with this project, and Wish has a new format right now. So it was tell us about that. What was the format that you initially thought that would be the release of this project, but now it became a digital web series that we are launching? Like, we just released a teaser just like, I think 2 hours ago. And then on May 29th, we'll be releasing.
Can I have a sip to that? A teaser.
Yeah,
2 hours ago.
have a seat, have a sip. It's celebration.
It's organic.
It's organic, completely organic. So right now we're just being fluid. We didn't want to, overthink it. But tell us about that. From one format to the other, what it meant to you, what it means to you to release this now.
It just feels like right. There's like a rightness to it, I always thought only for theater, only for the theater, only for the big screen, I mean, knowing that a digital release would always follow, but never imagined it would be first, But it feels really good because the film works really well that way. It's broken up into episodes that are perfectly orchestrated and designed. And I just want people to be inspired and get the messaging and see the content, see the world that's in there. It's so artfully done with so many incredible artists that collaborated on this thing, and true collaboration. I see it being educational. I see it being in schools. I see it being inspiring in different socioeconomic brackets, because Pickford came from poor and really forged a path. So to be able to reach people in different realms, this is the way. This digital way is the way, you know? But to learn for myself that doesn't compromise the integrity of the content was groundbreaking for me. I was a snob, like, I guess a snob or something. I don't know. It's like, no, not for the small screen.
Do you think yourself, like you mentioned earlier that in 2012, you know, you really declare that, no, we're not going, like, you know, you wouldn't release that in digital, like, obviously. And then if you from 2012 would stand in the same room of you now,
yeah,
they would get along?
Oh, that's such a cool question, because my initial response was no. The version of me now would be, yeah, no, just no. I don't think they would. I think, oh my God. I think ultimately there's respect, and there would be a realness to that interaction that could be understood, but there's a lot of resistance in there. The 2012 version.
Whoa.
And the 2020 version would want to ideally be understanding of that. Be like, okay, whatever, you know, like, have your journey, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes like you want to save people steps, but they need to step on every stair, you know?
That's interesting. Thank you for the answer, actually. That's that was actually very real. That was very real. Now, May 29th, again, I will say it again, releasing 2 episodes.
3.
And there's 3 episodes. How many episodes?
16 in total. And we're going to release 3 to the public. And then people can register, and a number of people will get access to the full series. So it's kind of like a sneak preview before the official premiere in a month or so, with some partners that will be announced later. But this is like also a really important time for us, for people to see it and talk about it, and show that, like I said, art matters, and we want to be able to support more content to get made that is true to a visionary's vision, rather than messages being diluted into some kind of weird common denominator that ultimately isn't that helpful. I don't think. It's just a long, windy road.
Would you know, we've said many times that the film is quite unconventional, and, you know, about Mary Pickford, which is pretty much the mother of Hollywood, very pioneering. How do you think people who are really, you know, in the conventional way in the industry, or just in life itself, how do you think they will receive that film or that project? How do you conceive that?
I mean, I imagine that it would just fall everywhere on the spectrum. Like there's going to be people that love it and swear by it. I mean, there's already been people that have seen it that swear it's a masterpiece. It's like the most original thing they've seen in 100 years, right? And then there's people that are like, huh, what? You know what I mean? Like it's literally gonna go the whole gamut, I think, of like opinions, and it's gonna trigger people because it's triggered people.
Seems like you have all the platform ready for it, because humanizing the icon, which is part of which is the movement that kind of we could say is kind of presenting the film. So you already have like a set for, you know, panels and debates, conversations.
Oh yes,
the blueprint is ready.
Yes. Yes.
The blueprint is ready. Now, can you talk about humanizing the icon? Like we talk about why not choose
I
love.
was like itching my ear in the Facebook playback.
Oh, really?
It was weird. I was like, I have an itch for 5 minutes. Just kidding.
My brother
Tell me
just joined again.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
Tell us about why not choose love, and is also a movement, artistic movement that is part of all of this. Tell us about humanizing the icon. What's the message with that? And what's the link between the two? What's the link between why not choose love and humanizing the icon?
Okay. So humanizing the icon is like an aspect of the exploration of this story, because Mary Pickford became a portal into this idea of icon for me. Something that I'd always been fascinated with, but I didn't really totally grasp the depth of my fascination until I was like really, really immersed in her story. And I'm like, how does someone become an icon, right? Like, what is icon? And it also became clear when people would see our footage and they would say, oh, wow, you're really humanizing her. Like it was a word that kept coming up. And so I think it might have again been with you and Exo again, where we kind of coined this phrase. Like it just sort of slipped out of like us having a discussion, and like it just became a term. I feel like we coined it, you know? So, you know, it's like an aspect to that journey. It's how do you explore the human and kind of leave the icon out of it. Some people would have made this movie with like 200 extras, you know, like waiting for her to arrive and like put her up on this pedestal and news reporters everywhere and she's bigger than the queen and like, oh my God, Mary Pickford, you know what I mean? Like that's a version. We don't have any scenes like that. You know, our movie is like very internal, right? It's very much about not the 200,000 people waiting for her arrival. It's about the feeling inside when 200,000 people are waiting for your arrival. So we're like exploring these memories, but from inside, you know? And so it's humanizing. And after, you know, we coined the phrase, and then other pop culture icons like made their way into the movie visually with this art that's sort of like a thread, which is very cool. And then I got invited to do an exhibition in Italy at the during the Venice Biennale, and I called it Humanizing the Icon. So we used artwork from our movie and then had other artists contribute as well. And we started exploring religion and spiritual icon and pop culture, and then going even beyond human into the system, into qualities like love and like icon as image. Like, what are we seeking? What are we idolizing? Why are we doing this? So it's very layered. It's very matrixy. It's very wild. And I think it's interesting and relevant because it's dangerous. Icon is dangerous and beautiful. So now we have a chat series where we have discussions about that with various artists and visionaries. And so it's an offspring of the journey of making that film, you know, an offshoot. It's like a branch, you know.
Exploring the different spectrum from that project, which is beyond that. It's like different. When you're saying icon can be dangerous, what do you mean by that?
I think idolization is dangerous, you know, to idolize beings and to kind of evaluate to see what you're not. Like, I'm not Madonna. Like, I don't do what she does. So I'm going to like look at her and decide I'm not that. And so therefore I will worship her and see myself being on like a lower plane somehow. People don't necessarily realize that that's what they're doing when they idolize somebody. They don't necessarily feel inferior or even think of it that way. But you can see what it does to people, you know, when they are in that space, and especially kids, especially young people, trying to be famous, trying to be icons, trying to like do anything for popularity or recognition, you know, because it kind of helps them feel worthy. And so I think that's dangerous. And I don't think the person who is the icon would really want that, right? Like, a lot of them don't even understand their own, what we see as power. It's not really power, you know? It's like we all have the same power and potential. You could be a monk and be so powerful. You can be a mom, you can be it doesn't matter what role you play in society, you know? So admiring, respecting, enjoying, that seems healthy, you know? But some people say like even Jesus, I mean, would have never wanted people like praying to him, or institutions being founded with his name as like the brand, you know, like I'm not saying that. I've heard it a bunch of times. Like, people are like, you think the guy like would have wanted that, right? It's so like divisive in certain ways. Especially when you think of like Christ consciousness, right? Which is like more just like pure consciousness.
Absolutely.
So that's like getting into other territory, but I think we're getting into a phase of self-empowerment. Like, do we embody the traits that we're seeking in these others that we idolize, you know?
Absolutely. Interesting. You know, we have some comments that are interesting. We have Desiree says, I've noticed for myself, idolizing things cause me to create almost unrealistic expectations for myself and the person or things I'm idolizing, which in turn makes me unhappy.
Yes, exactly. Disappointed, frustrated, all kinds of things.
And we also have, funny enough, the human artist, somebody called human artist. Really interesting, because we have this thing calling the humanizing the icon. And she says, what matters is keeping our vibrations high.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And look, like, icon can't exist without public adoration. That person's not iconic without all the adoration. So it's a relationship. So as the public, we're as necessary in that equation as the human that we're projecting onto. Like, it's, you know, it's just interesting. Whatever.
Whatever. I love that.
As someone said, like, human in one of these chats, human is icon. Like, we're just trying to figure out what it means to be human and what we are. so human is like, that is it, you know?
And it's, it's funny because, when we say humanizing the icon, obviously we can iconize a human. And I was realizing some time ago that, I have friends who, either they're artists or whatever they're doing, and I really appreciate them. I got love for them. And when I see them, I'm like, wow. I'm like, sometimes I say to my friends and sometimes I say like, I'm a fan of you. And it's interesting because since we're having this human connection, where we know each other's vulnerabilities and, we help each other, assist each other, just like you know what I mean? It's funny because with that connection, when I say that, for example, like, yeah, I'm a fan, it really touches, but in a deep way. Because it's like, the human.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And it's like, and there's no, like, as Desiree was saying, it's like, that in that moment, there's no, like, expectation for you to just be that. Because I know, first and foremost, we're human. So it's, so basically, what's dangerous is the lack of connection. And also for the icon to just, kind of not express and not, expose the human aspects of himself. And at the very same time, for humans, when you're in you're in your human nature, to not see in a way the icon that you are, when you believe in yourself, when you're enough. And sometimes, I'm working on a project. I'm not going to talk about this now, but it's about eulogies, when not waiting for people to die before you actually give them a eulogy, right? When you can deeply appreciate and recognize somebody's work, somebody's craft, you also honor their purpose in a way. Not that their purpose is only about what they do, but that we honor their inner calling, and but when we do that, we must not stop seeing the human, which will have highs and lows, will go through surge of emotions, and it's not an icon like, a street sign. It's not an icon like a logo that you click on a computer, which may not have any emotions and feelings, but actually you're dealing with a human aspect, like it's alive. And, would you say that, I have a question, would you say that sometimes we do not, as there's a way that where fans can actually take care in a way of, or it can show that they're willing to accept the vulnerability of an icon?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's all, like you said, it's all about being human. So it's just a question of what the fan, so to speak, is projecting, right? Because like there's actually people that don't even realize that famous people are even people, which is so almost absurd to think about. But there's like, actually, that's why those magazines have sold for so many years, right? Like they're a real person, they're getting coffee. Like it's like there used to be, I don't know if there still is, I mean I haven't looked at those magazines in years, but like the sections where it's like they're real people and would show them, like it would totally be a complete invasion of their life and like show them doing real things, like just paparazzi moments. And because there's actually people who don't think they're actually people if they're famous.
They're
that's
like
just like, or a deity.
Yeah.
Like they just don't even think they're like, those people that say like, they're so rich and famous, I can't believe they committed suicide. Have you heard people? I've heard people say that. So many, oh my God, they had everything. Like, how could she do that? Stuff like that. And I do have empathy for people that don't understand that like fame and wealth don't like make your well-being.
Yeah.
Half your face is cut off, by the way, on Instagram. There you go. So I used to like be a little judgmental of people that said that, right? But like, that's my issue when it comes to being judgmental. So I just realized that like, for some reason that's, you know, people have that perception that fame and wealth should make you okay. Mentally and emotionally and spiritually. It just doesn't work like that. Like there's just honestly doesn't. Like at best, like it can maybe give you some relief if you're having a hard time paying your bills and you get a bunch of money. You're like, okay, cool, maybe I won't have such a hard time paying my bills. But like you're definitely not going to be healed from like your karma and your emotion and your mental wellness and like everything, you know, through any kind of material thing. You still got to do the work. I've seen some of the happiest, most joyful people in the slums, you know, that's like a word that's maybe not even appropriate, but in a very, very poor communities, I've seen some of the most joyful beings, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying across the board because people are people. But money doesn't do that.
Interesting.
In fact, people that are really unwell, more money can illuminate that, can intensify that. You know that saying, more money, more problems?
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone's unstable, it can be really hard to manage all that money and all that wealth and all that maintenance and all that stuff. And, you know, gets really stressful.
Sometimes we say that it makes you more of who you are already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a generous person, you'll be more generous.
Exactly. There you go.
You know, if you're selfish, more selfish. Or if you're depressed,
statements like that are so troubling. Yeah, about the I know, I agree. The statement I think she means about how could someone do that if they're rich and famous? Yeah. You know. But that's just a sign of the psyche of the collective.
Yeah.
It's sad. That's part of humanizing the icon, is like realizing that it's just off.
All right.
Are we tired?
I think we're tired.
Okay.
Yeah. That's amazing. I really like that.
We went for like almost 3 hours.
That's great. That's a good exercise. That's great conversation. That's dope. And thank you for recording that. And we could see by the connection we have with people, like, you know, people that pass by and the comments that we've had. It's sometimes it's just that little conversation at this time that just like, oh, it sparked something, and it's about that, being fluid in the moment and bringing this message in moments like late like that.
Yeah, thank you for your energy. It's been super fun and definitely helpful too in like releasing this baby, to have people like you, this content, a part of it. It eases the contractions. That's why we say you and Exo are like doulas, you know?
By the way, we'll for the people that were listening, speak like Desiree and Human Artists, and definitely we'll get you guys the information to reserve your spot for the virtual launch party. And we'll be releasing 3 episodes of Why Not Choose Love, which is an unconventional biopic from Mary Pickford. It's a crazy, it's crazy. And it's not even because I'm part of it. There was a time I was not even part of it, and I was introduced to it. And then it, it took a crazy form. And we're definitely super grateful to be part of this. It's a movement, it's a creation, and it's growing, and we're connecting with, you know, artists and people who are honoring their inner calling, even more. So yeah.
Yay. So I guess you're gonna get the option to put this onto your playback.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. She's like, I'm going to look who that Mary is.
Oh, yay. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Desiree also like follow me on Instagram and we can be connected.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love the vibes here. Very cool.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your energy. You're sharing your attunement.
Thank you, brother. Yo.
Yo.
Yo. Okay, so let's do this in stages. So let's end Instagram Live.
Okay.
And you can put that up onto IGTV. It's really cool.
So just to be sure, I press end and it should ask me for the playback. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. One love. Mwah.
Mwah. Yay.
There we go.
Okay. So Satya.
Oh, what's up?
Should I end Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me take it out.
I'm looking for the thumbnail. There we go.
What?
All right.
Can I hear you now? I can't hear you.
How would I call this video? It's like,
Wait, take out your headset.
how would I call this video?
Wait, Satya.
Yeah.
Should I? I'm gonna end Facebook now. Okay.
All right. Thanks for everyone that was here with us.
Thanks, people. This was really fun. I guess there's
whole party. We released 3 episodes of Why Not Choose Love, and in the comments, the email where you can actually reserve your tickets and really reserve your space actually. And that's not. Peace out.
okay. So let's end. Stop.